I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special edition and a very special start time and day of the BOOM. Of course, I'm still your host with the most, as always, KMG, the man to the right of me. That is my co-host at this time, Bill Kahn. Of course, the man that wears two hats on this particular program, my co-host / producer, that is Metalcore Mike. Gentlemen, we are joined here on a rare occasion on a Thursday night this time, and we are here to talk about some AEW All Out as this Saturday, and we're giving our predictions and thoughts on All Out on that card. But gentlemen, how is your Thursday evening going?
Did you know that if you add up Dynamite from last night, which ran about three hours and some odd minutes, and then add the pay-per-view on Saturday and Collision, AEW is putting up close to 12 hours of product this week.
Yeah.
Wild.
Like, that's just I mean when you look at
mental.
When you look at WWE, I mean, they run Raw, which is 2.5 hours, SmackDown, that's 2 hours, that's 4.5 hours, plus a PLE, that's 3 hours, that's 7.5 hours, plus NXT, about 9.5, 10 hours a week. Okay, so AEW initially is giving us WWE product, what WWE product would give us in a like every 3 week basis, because at this point we get a PLE every 3 weeks,
right?
Or a special event like Saturday Night's Main Event or something. So, you know, but yeah, we'll talk AEW. But Wednesday, it's Thursday. I mean, you know, just another day. Life is life, and you gotta kind of just grab the bull by the horns and run with the bull, and hope it goes in the right direction. And it's that, you know.
Motivational speak from Mike. I didn't expect that. But speaking of life, right now, we are at war. Whether the AEW faithful want to believe it, whether the WWE faithful want to believe it, WWE and AEW are going head to head this Saturday with WrestlePalooza, of course, for WWE, and of course All Out in the afternoon for Saturday. So head to head, we're still at war. AEW, WWE are pretty much playing the petty game, trying to get the chatter online and trying to steal headlines this weekend. So we'll see who, I guess, wins the headlines this weekend. It should be a lot of wrestling, probably more than any of us asked for. But as Mike said, close to 12 hours of professional wrestling for AEW this coming weekend. But gentlemen, I did not watch Dynamite because why would I? I don't want to sit here for 3 hours and then go live at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday evening and talk 3 hours of probably forgettable television. So we are here on a Thursday. That's why we moved it to Thursday. And we're just really solely talking about AEW All Out. This card, including the 3 pre-show matches, has 13 matches on the card as a whole. So is that a coincidence? Probably not. I think Tony Khan is loading up this card as much as humanly possible. So we're going to get into it. I normally don't talk about pre-show matches, but we're going to talk about the pre-show matches too. We're going to give our predictions for those as well. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Can I say something really, really quick? Part of me feels like, you know, and this has to do with what you said about like the whole thing with being at war and everything. And it's the obvious All Out is going to happen in the afternoon and WrestlePalooza at nighttime. I have a feeling AEW is going to blow WWE out of the water this weekend. Like, unless WWE gives us something to really be excited about. I mean, yeah, we're getting AJ in her return match after 10 years. We're getting Brock and Cena for the first time after 10 years later. And but those are like the two main highlights of WWE show, Brock and AJ, right? When you look at the AEW card, a few of the matches are kind of like, you look at it, it's like, man, like, how did they really get to this point with this match? Or why is this person facing this person? Why do they have this person going for this title? Like, but at the end of the day, AEW, what's the one thing they always get criticized on? If you had to pick one thing that AEW gets criticized on, what is it?
Well, I couldn't begin to guess, but I know my main gripe is there's storytelling.
Okay. Phil, what's the one thing you think AEW gets criticized for the most?
It's definitely the storytelling aspect for their matches.
Ding, ding, ding. Circle gets the square. What have they won? Okay. AEW lacks in storytelling. They're trying, and they've been trying for a while to get on track with storytelling. And some of the stories aren't bad. They're not bad, but they're not great. The attempt of MJF being in the Hurt Syndicate, it wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was kind of okay. It got accepted after a while, but then you started seeing the wonkiness of it. Right. When you watch AEW television during the week, it's like, man, this is kind of hard to watch. But when you get to a pay-per-view, whether it's 4 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours long, it's still a fucking banging pay-per-view. And I feel like AEW is going to blow WWE. But I mean, do you really want to say blow them out of the water? Probably not. But do I think they are going to do I feel like they're going to take that spotlight or outperform WWE? I do. And I understand AJ Lee's return is big. I get that. I'm not disagreeing with that. And I'm not saying it's not big. But AEW, back when they did All In, WWE and AEW kind of went head to head because the pay-per-view was kind of coming to an end when they were running Saturday Night's Main Event, and AEW outperformed WWE. I feel like AEW can do it again. I do. So I'm sorry I went on this tangent. I apologize. I had to get those feelings out.
I mean, we'll definitely have to see. But gentlemen, let's get into it without further ado. The first match is a tag match, or a tornado tag match to be exact. Harley Cameron, Mina Shirakawa, Queen Aminata, and Willow Nightingale taking on Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford in the Triangle of Madness, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue in an 8-woman tornado tailgate brawl. I don't know why that's called that. I don't know if they're tailgating. I don't know if they're going to be outside while people are tailgating and grilling hot dogs or whatever.
It's going to be wild.
I don't know. No idea.
And that's how they call it, bro. That's how they call the match. It's not like
no idea. No idea what's going on.
It's such a ridiculous name. They make these ridiculous names for no reason whatsoever.
I think there's a meaning. I think there's a meaning towards it too. So it's
meaning towards this.
So yeah, it's gonna basically be a tornado tag match. And it doesn't say anything whether it's gonna be like outside or anything. Where is All Out this year? Where is it?
That's in Toronto.
In Toronto.
Yeah. Okay, Scotiabank Arena. Yeah.
Yeah. If it was in like a college town or something like that, then I would sit here and say maybe it's like a tailgate match outside in the parking lot. But Toronto, like Canada's not really. I mean, unless they do it for hockey games up there, I don't think they're really known for doing tailgating. I don't think. I don't know. I'm just making that guess.
It's just a random name for a random match that I don't really. I mean, look, I love that the women are at least getting a match, but it's on the pre-show, and I don't think it's really going to mean much at the end of the day.
Well, gentlemen, it definitely is a pre-show match. I'm going to get your guys' thoughts on this and your predictions, if you will. Mike, I'm going to start with you.
I mean, these pre-show matches, what they're necessarily meant to do is get the crowd going, get the crowd into what they're about to see on live television, on pay-per-view when the show starts and everything like that. I would have to go with the babyface team: Harley Cameron, Mina Shirakawa, Queen Aminata, and Willow the Nightingale. I don't see why you would have them lose to start out the night and have a heel team win. So I straight up just seeing them win just for the sole purpose you want to get that crowd up and happy and excited to get ready for what they're going to see on the main card.
Fair enough. We have some comments in the chat. Scout said that they have people in the square outside the Scotia Bank Arena for both
Scotia.
NBA and Scotia, whatever.
Yeah.
Arena for both NBA and NHL games. I mean, like I said, I don't think they're going to take it that far. I don't think that's what this match is going to be, but who knows? Maybe it will be. I have no idea. They have a ring just set up outside. I don't know.
This is the first time they're realistically doing some sort of like tailgate kind of brawl pre-show type deal.
I'm gonna try and find and see what this match is all about. Seriously, we can continue, but I'm just gonna look it up, and if I can find something, then great. Like I'll bring it up. But other than that,
But Phil, your thoughts, your prediction.
Yeah, I'm going with the babyface team. Look, I actually like what they're doing with the Triangle of Madness thing with Tekla, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. I like that pairing. I like that like three-way pairing between the group. But like, and we'll see Tekla later on in the night or whatever for All Out. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like just what Mike said. You're starting off the show or whatever kind of order the pre-show matches are going to be for. Just getting the babyface team a win, getting these four ladies out there, getting them to win in front of a crowd, in front of Toronto and all of that stuff. It just makes the most sense. And honestly, I mean, you can see all of these women being future pieces for TBS championship opportunities or anything else in the future. So, I mean, yeah, you just got to get the babyface team to win there for me.
So the theme of this match is, with it being the tailgate, it's going to involve like stuff that you use at a barbecue for weapons.
Oh, so it's a tornado tag hardcore match.
It's a hardcore match, but with barbecue stuff as weapons. Like stuff when you go outside and barbecue, or if you're barbecuing at a tailgate, yeah, that's what they're going to be using for weapons, like tongs and spatulas and stuff. That, yeah.
It's a Donnybrook match. It's a no holds barred. It's
Extreme Rules.
Yeah,
Extreme Rules.
I don't care really, but I'm gonna go with the babyface team. Again, I believe they're missing the mark here, and I know we're in the month of September, and I don't think we're getting a Blood and Guts this year, but I believe they are missing the mark on a all female, first ever female war games, Blood and Guts match, war games, AEW's version of war games, whatever, same thing. I think they're missing the mark with the women's Blood and Guts. If you ask me, they could throw all of these women involved into a Blood and Guts match, and I think that would be 10 times better than what they're doing here.
If this doesn't at least spark a conversation to make that match happen, then I don't know what will.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it. If this doesn't get something moving on the tracks for just a conversation to be had to have that match, nothing will, I don't think. Moving on, next pre-show match we have Daniel Garcia versus Katsuyori Shibata. I'm gonna go with Shibata here. Again, not much there, other than I really like Shibata. First of all, I really enjoy Shibata, so I don't really see what they're really doing with Daniel Garcia right now, or really realistically any direction at all since him losing the TNT Championship. So, but I'm going to say Shibata for this. Phil, your thoughts?
I'm going Daniel here, and the only reason is because I feel like with him joining the Death Riders, and I put those close there for a reason, as to why I think Daniel is with this and all that. But I think Daniel kind of just needs it more. If he's doing the whole stuff with the Death Riders and all that, he kind of needs something behind him in order to kind of make him seem a little bit more believable to be a part of this whole entire thing. not saying that he's not believable now, but he literally just started this thing. We got to get him some wins. We got to get him at least some momentum if he's going to be a part of this thing. So you got to give it to Daniel here. And Katsuyori Shibata, he's not going to take anything in the loss here, in my eyes. He's 1/3 of the trios champions and everything like that, but most people don't even believe that the Ops are even the champions in the first place right now. But it's just it's a weird situation going on right now. But for me, Daniel Garcia got to pick up the W here.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm with Phil on this one. I think you gotta give Daniel Garcia the win, especially with him starting stuff up with the Death Riders. That momentum would help him. Also, even if there was no story of him going with the Death Riders or starting anything with the Death Riders, if he was just working on his own, where has his momentum gone in the past year and a half? I mean, he was one of the most popular superstars in AEW.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere just fell off the face of the earth as far as popularity. And I know that happens with a lot of stars. But him in particular, like when he came back and he signed his contract and everything, we made his decision what he wanted to do long term. It's like everybody was behind him for like 2 weeks. And then when he wins the TNT championship, it's like everybody was like, yeah, fuck him. Who cares? Like nobody cared. Like we need to find a way to get Daniel Garcia because he is a talent that if you miss out on him, it's a mistake. It's a huge mistake.
He's a super talented kid.
Yeah.
And like they had him right in the palm of their hands.
I mean, it's not gone. It's not gone though.
They can salvage it.
They can. It's just all about doing something with him. And if they have to go the route of having him go into a group like the Death Riders, what I want to see him do is replace Yuta.
That would be nice.
And that could be one of his first feuds. Like they've been little broing Yuta for the longest time. Replace him.
Oh yeah.
He'd be more of a force. And then him and Cesaro, I'll call him Cesaro. Cesaro, Claudio can be a tag team or something. They'd be a great tag. And Cam, I hate singles guys becoming tag teams, but Daniel Garcia and Claudio Castagnoli as a tag team.
That's more of a legit tag team than I thought Wheeler and Claudio were.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, to me, if you're going down that route with, having Wheeler Yuta get kicked out or little broed in a sense or whatever, this makes me kind of even think the whole theory that's been going around of Daniel just kind of going on into the Death Riders just to like, working on the inside just to like split them all apart in the end. It could be something in the future. I don't know. There's a lot that they can do with Daniel Garcia right now with the Death Riders. And the thing is, I didn't like it at first. When they just had the whole entire thing start, I was like, what the hell are we doing? I thought Daniel Garcia was supposed to be a part of the whole thing to have the death of the Death Riders happen. But if Daniel Garcia is working on the inside in order to try to get these people apart, it could be something in the future.
So I'm on par with half of what you just said. How about instead of replacing Yuta, what if we replaced Moxley? What if the Death Riders, and this is what they should have did from the jump after Mox lost the world title. What if the Death Riders turn on Moxley? Now they got Garcia in the mix. What if Garcia becomes the leader of the Death Riders? Why not? What better way to get him back to what he was and then some if you now break up the current iteration of the Death Riders, you rename them, name them something else. Death Riders, once Mox is gone, the Death Riders name's gone. And then it's just a new Garcia group. And he's the leader. I think that would be fantastic.
If they were to do that, I can literally see the moment that happens, I can literally see the IWC lighting up fucking social media saying it took AEW long enough to copy what WWE did with the Judgment Day. That's what I can see.
I mean, I guess, but
I'm not against what you're saying, Cam. I'm not against it. I'm just saying I could see,
Of
The
course,
comment
yeah.
section soldiers going off and saying, "Oh, it took them long enough to compare, do what they WWE did with the Judgment Day."
I mean,
Like-
they're going to do that anyway with just about anything that's in wrestling involving AEW or WWE. They're gonna say,
Yeah, you're not
they're
wrong on
WWE, they're
that.
copying AEW.
You're not
AEW,
wrong
they're
on
copying
that.
WWE. It's
You're
not
not
going to really
wrong.
matter. When the Judgment Day was a thing, they were saying, "Oh, they're copying the Dark Order."
Yeah. You're not wrong on that.
Edge is copying the Undertaker with the purple lighting, and they're going to make these comparisons. So who cares about that? I'm just saying, if you want to put the light back on Daniel Garcia, I would say instead of just making him another member and another goon to Moxley, make him the leader. Kick out Moxley. Make Moxley the babyface. Personally, if you ask me, I miss babyface Mox when he was just this solo, rebel. I love that version of Moxley. This version of Moxley, I mean, it's okay, but I don't really know what else there is to explore here. I think it's kind of used up. I miss babyface Mox. So you can reignite a fire with Mox, making him the babyface, going after the group that he basically created that kicked him out. Yes, and I guess you can. Yes, that's pretty much the exact same formula that you had with the Judgment Day, because Edge was this evil, dark overlord that created the Judgment Day, and then they kicked him out, and then it made him a babyface. So yeah, it's the same formula, but it could easily work here. Now, here's where I disagree with both of you, honestly. In terms of that overall, momentum or whatever that Garcia had, for me, I disagree. I think it is gone. I think he made the mistake of re-signing with this company when he had the opportunity to go to WWE and be under NXT, and he would have grown even more, because there's so many people down there, so many minds down there that he would have just learned and just grown from. This is something that I feel like Hook needs to do, because it would just be so much better for him, a much better fit, and they can grow and give him a character, and it just would be so much better for his overall progression. For me right now, it is gone with Daniel Garcia, because that whole re-sign, it was like, oh, they threw like this whole party-esque segment for him re-signing. Oh, I'm staying with All Elite Wrestling, and they did nothing with him after that. They gave him the consolation prize of winning the TNT title, and we just never saw him on TV. I don't blame the fans saying, oh, they just said screw him, we don't care about him. They were definitely still behind him. It was they didn't show him after that. They put the TNT title on him and said, here you go, thanks for re-signing with the company. And then you're just on Collision for 4 or 5 months or however long it was. Yeah. Then the very next time we saw him on TV, he was ice cold. I didn't even recognize him. That's how bad it was. I was like, who was that? Oh, that's Daniel Garcia. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. I didn't even recognize Daniel Garcia, who, again, to your point, Mike, was one of the most popular acts on TV at the time.
And now he's doing pre-shows to pay-per-views with I mean, you can't disregard the fact that he's on a pre-show with a star.
Right.
So if you're going to put him on the pre-show with a star, like in the ring with a huge star, then make it worth it. It's free. Everybody's eyes are going to be, because I'm going to say this right now. Do I have the money to order All Out? No, I don't. So am I going to be able to see the event? Most likely not. So am I going to watch the pre-show on, TikTok or something? Yeah, I will. That's where the eyes come from, is that free show. You got Daniel Garcia in with a big star. This should be a great match, and it's free? Shit. Sign me up. There you go.
So, and like I said, and it's nothing against him when I say that I feel like the momentum is gone. Again, like I said, I think it's just the way he's been presented. He's still a hell of a talent, to what you said, Phil. Like I said, he puts on great matches.
Nothing about this is Daniel Garcia's fault.
No, absolutely not. Nothing about this is his fault. It's just the way I think that he was treated as TNT champion. If he's the TNT champion and that title is supposed to be their Intercontinental Championship, the championship underneath their World Heavyweight title, you need to be on TV as much as the world champion.
I've took that place.
I've never viewed the TNT title as that Intercontinental title.
I did.
I never did.
when they first brought it in and Cody won the championship, when you go back to when that title first came in and Cody won, Darby Allin won, like the bigger stars that could have been or should have been world champions early in AEW were holding that title. It was like, okay, this is their Intercontinental Championship. But then they very quickly brought in the International Championship, and now you have the unified title. Like, it just got to be so much so fast. Yeah, and they literally played hot potato with that championship so quick. They couldn't give it the aura that belt could have had.
As soon as the flip-flopping of the championship happened, that's when I knew that this was not really going to be a championship to be taken seriously as much as an Intercontinental Championship. The fact of the matter is, to me, I've always looked at it as the TV title, not just because it's literally the TV version of the championship, the TNT title for, their TV network and all of that stuff, but like just the way that they kept doing the open challenges and, just how they kind of positioned the title right after the whole Cody Rhodes situation and all that stuff, it really wasn't anything for me. And maybe that's just because of me being in a generation to where I didn't realistically see TV championships all that much in my time of watching pro wrestling, but it really wasn't anything for me. And that's when the International Championship came into fold and all of that stuff. I'm like, this championship right here could be something if they allow it to be, and this could be the version of the Intercontinental Championship, if they truly allow the superstars to have great reigns with this and be that second totem pole on the hierarchy of championships within AEW. That's just me and my point of view of it all.
That's a fair point too. But I mean, like I said, last thing I'm going to say on this before we move on, but like I think they can get it back, with Daniel Garcia, but it's going to take a lot of convincing for me personally. Like they've got to do something interesting with him, and fast. Because I think, again, I think he's got a lot to offer. It's just all about how they present him. So
the Death Riders thing has to work. If it doesn't work, then I'll 100% agree with you on the momentum side of things for Daniel Garcia. But if this does, it can get back on track.
I can agree with that. It's all about where they take it. But next on this is the last of the pre-show matches for this card. Well, we got the Ops, Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs versus the Work Horsemen, Anthony Henry and JD Drake in a tag team match. I'm taking the Ops here. Like I said, you have the two halves of the trios champions here. I don't see why the trios champion holders would lose this match. They are champions. It's a pre-show match. It doesn't mean anything. So that would be a bad look if, just a random tag team from, I would assume, Collision or whatever beats, champions that are on Dynamite. So, Mike, I'm going to get your
talent, honestly.
Right. Mike, I'm going to get your prediction on this.
So, I mean, number one, I'm going with the Ops. There's no question that they're going to win this match. They got this. But the one thing that Tony Khan is making, I think, a little bit of a mistake on is the fact that right in front of his eyes, and I know it doesn't really fit to put the Ops. I mean, you could probably make it fit as far as storylining with the Ops. You have a trios match on the main card that we're going to talk about. Why not, for the first time ever, I believe it would be the first time ever, have a fatal four-way trios championship match instead of having, your trios champions who hardly defend their belts be on a pre-show in a regular tag match. It baffles me. Like, you have a trios match happening that there's nothing up for grabs in it. There's no real specialty to it. It's just a trios match. Why not put the belts on the line? Four teams, one match. You can even do it as like a single elimination thing. Why not? That would make sense to me. Instead of on the pre-show putting your trios champions on there in a throwaway match, just to have action on your pre-show. They could have done that, and then on the pre-show put two other guys or two other girls in a match that would have spotlighted them because they'd be on free TV before a pay-per-view. Utilize your talent that you have in the back and stop letting people that could be used sit in catering all night. That's what I would have preferred. But I got to go with the Ops. I'm going with the Ops on this one. That's foregone conclusion.
Phil?
I didn't even realize this match was happening until you said it. So, I mean, it's the obvious answer there that the Ops are winning this thing. I mean, no disrespect to JD Drake, is it? And
Yeah.
see, that's the freaking problem. JD Drake and Anthony Henry. I was gonna say Bowens. See, another problem. No offense to those guys, but it's the Ops. Come on.
See, and that's my point right there. Is Phil kind of just Phil? You didn't know who this tag team was.
I Ring of Honor stuff. I saw from time to time, but nothing.
You proved my point on this.
Yeah.
This is what pre-shows are made for, is to take talent that doesn't get a lot of TV time on a weekly basis and put them in the ring on free television before a pay-per-view. Spotlight them. Instead of just having them come to work. Have them come to work and do absolutely nothing and only have them working on Collision or another show. Like, spotlight them. Give them time.
Yeah.
You're gonna have 15, 20,000 people in the Scotiabank.
Like, it's nothing gonna be major.
You're gonna have 15 to 20,000 people in the Scotiabank Arena, or how many people are gonna fit in there. That's more eyes right there in person.
I mean, like I said, it's a no-brainer. Like, it should be the Ops. I don't see why they would lose this match. But, gentlemen, we are moving on to the regular card for All Out. First match that is on here is the tag team match: Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. I'm gonna go with Copeland and Christian. I don't know. I like the fact I've enjoyed Copeland and Christian in this story of them getting back together. I thought this would have gone in a different direction with the tag titles being involved in this. But Brodito won the championships the last pay-per-view, so didn't see that coming. So without that, I mean it's okay. I just don't care as much. But I'm gonna go with Copeland and Christian. I really don't see why they would lose here. I wouldn't be surprised if this is not just a one-off. I could see them easily, doing this again, World's End or whatnot have you once again. So, and maybe something is on the line. Then maybe they do have a stipulation of sorts. Then who knows? But I'm going with Copeland and Christian. Phil, your thoughts?
Yeah, I've honestly really liked what they have done here with this. And it's not just, the pairing of Cope and Christian getting back together or anything like that, but these four, you can tell that they're enjoying what they are doing right now within this story. And I mean, I'm going Cope and Christian. That's not even negotiable at this point. Like, they are going to win this thing. Like you, I thought tag team titles were possibly going to be up for grabs in this, and I thought FTR were going to be the champions heading on in, but this isn't going to be. I know people are not going to hear this, but I don't think this is going to be over by a long shot. I think at some point we are going to be revisiting this again. Even if the baby faces do just get the win here in their home of Toronto and just get the win, I can see them revisiting this once again for the tag team titles down the line. I can, but in due time. Until that happens, Cope and Christian get this win, and it'll be a feel-good moment. And I actually heard from the media call that this is actually going to be kicking off the show. So this is a really good way to get people up on their feet and really excited for what's going to come for the rest of the night. So good stuff there.
Mike?
So I don't know if there was any big lines that were said in the past week or two as far as story building with Copeland and Christian, because the last time that I seen them was when they were in the ECW arena, and Christian said a very important line. He said, "Adam, you helped me take care of my problem. Now I'm going to help you take care of yours." But I think Adam's problem is right under his nose. Christian is not one to really care about helping other people take care of their business unless it benefits him. I think this is a one-off match between these two teams, And it would not surprise me if Christian turns on Copeland in this match. Would not surprise me. And I'm saying it. I think Christian will turn on Copeland in this match, and FTR wins.
Oh, during the
got
course of the
FTR.
match.
Yes, sir.
I hope that doesn't happen. That would be heartbreaking.
I'd
That would be
I'd
heartbreaking.
so upset if that happened.
I would be very upset if that happens. But it's possible. Like I said, I don't
It is
fully trust Christian
possible.
Cage either. I really don't.
Anything's possible in the All Elite Federation.
Yes. So I don't know. We'll definitely have to see. I hope that does not happen. But moving on. The next match we have the Hurt Syndicate in a trios match. Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP taking on the Gates of Agony, Bishop Khan and Toa Leona and Ricochet. Random match, random how they even really got to feuding with each other. I mean, big meaty men slapping meat, I guess. I don't
Here's
care.
here's the thing with me. I literally asked, what are they even fighting for again? And somebody just replies the one word, power. Great. Thanks.
Oh,
I appreciate that. That's so riveting of a story. That's so riveting. That's so much riveting detail as to why I should care about this match. If the Hurt Syndicate don't win this thing, what the fuck are we doing here? That's all I'm saying.
what? You like froze there for a second, bud. Say that again.
If the Hurt Syndicate don't win this here, I don't know what the hell we're doing.
They're dead in the water. They're dead in the water, if you ask me. If
I don't think they are. I think they're very much still popular. But
they're still popular. But in terms of just what are we doing? They're dead in the water.
If that happens, then yeah, I'll agree with you there. Okay.
Well,
Okay, now I understand.
They lost the tag team titles, and it's just like, where are we going? So I don't know. I'm with you. I would say the Hurt Syndicate win this. I really am not excited to see MVP in a ring. I'm just not. I don't know. I mean, this is not 2006, so I don't know. I don't particularly care, but I'm gonna go with the Hurt Syndicate. If not, then I'm not quite sure what they're doing next. There is a rumor too, and I wanted to bring this up. There is a rumor that they are supposed to be adding some, I think, one or two younger talent to the group of the Hurt Syndicate.
From what I heard, it's just one, but yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how true that is, or if that is the ultimate plan here, but we'll definitely have to see. But Mike,
those are going to be the guys that take all the powders for them. Meaning those are the guys that are going to get knocked on their ass. So MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Sheldon don't have to when they get into the breakout fights that happen every week on Dynamite. Well,
so
really,
which makes sense as to the reason
so they're
why
Wheeler
that
Yuta,
name was
basically.
mentioned.
Basically, that's what they're going to be. I'm calling it right now. Number one, number two.
Yeah.
You notice the Hurt Syndicate does more running their mouth than they do hurting people. I've noticed that in the past year that this team's been together. Like, they just run their mouth.
It's fair.
They don't like the only hurting they're doing is trying to hurt people's feelings. That's it. Like, by running their mouth, they don't really hurt people. You know.
It's fair.
Jeez. I mean, I'm going Hurt Syndicate on this one. I don't see Ricochet and his team winning. I don't. And if they want something exciting to happen and a younger talent or talents is going to join, well, then you have Ricochet turn on his team and join them and be that fourth member of the Hurt Syndicate, like it's, being rumored to, was a rumor in the past of him being the fourth member, along with Cedric Alexander and 100 other people. Have Ricochet turn and be a part of the Hurt Syndicate.
I can see it. I don't see why not. The next match, we have our first championship match. Singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné taking on Riho. Again, I said this before on our last show. I don't mind Riho. I know there's a lot of discourse and a lot of talk about Riho, and people really not liking her because of her stature and her matches and things like that. I have yet to see a bad match from Riho, realistically. I think her best matches come from opponents that are bigger than her. She puts on absolute bangers. And again, I would say she's basically like the female Rey Mysterio for AEW. She really is. She's just the ultimate underdog, and it's just easy to just be able to root for her, especially when she's after, like I said, a bigger, more opposing threat in the ring.
Yeah.
In terms of this particular matchup, just the I don't know, the combination, I guess, just with her and Monet, I'm not liking that combination really. I'm not quite sure what they're going to do. Monet, she hasn't really faced a lot of people smaller than her. But when there is, I think a height difference or size difference, those matches that I've seen from her can turn very sloppy, which is what I'm very concerned about during the course of this match.
That's honestly very fair. That's fair.
Yeah, so that's what I'm concerned of, because she's used to working with somebody her size or maybe even a little bigger. So some of the moves she has to kind of downsize because of, she's compensating for the size of Rio. So I'm very concerned about how things will flow together in terms of them in the ring. I'm going with Monet here. Is it possible that Rio pulls off the ultimate upset and finally is the one to dethrone Monet and take off the TBS championship from her? Possibly, but I don't see it. I'm personally going with the safe bet in Monet, and we're still pretty much on the search for who is ultimately going to dethrone Mercedes Monet. I think she closes out 2025 still TBS champion. I don't think she loses it till next year, to be honest. But Mike, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going Mercedes as well. I mean, I'm with you, Riho. Every time I watch her in a match, she's just great. There's nothing that I can pick out as far as falters when it comes to Riho. Riho is actually my very first favorite when it came to the women's division in AEW. Like when AEW first came about, Riho was my favorite female superstar in AEW. She was. And her matches with Nyla Rose were just classics. They were classic matches. I mean, I went back and watched one of their matches a couple weeks ago, because that's the nice thing about Max. They have the archives now. So you can go back and watch old episodes of Dynamite and pay-per-views and stuff like that. So I've watched one of their matches a couple weeks ago, and just Riho will always be my first ever favorite in AEW when it comes to the women's division. She will. I will always like Riho. But I don't see her beating Mercedes. I don't see her dethroning Mercedes. I have a feeling that we won't see Mercedes lose. We won't see Mercedes lose the TBS title until she starts losing all her other championships.
There you go. Yeah,
that's when I see her. She goes on this big tear of losing her titles, and it's going to start with whatever indie championship she has. She'll lose that one, and then 2 or 3 nights later she loses another one. And then it leads up to maybe I can kind of agree with you that we may see Mercedes go into 2026 as the TBS champion, but part of me has this feeling that when we get to World's End, that's when her time is going to end.
That's perfect.
Is at World's End. So,
yes.
Probably around
poetic.
That's perfect.
Probably at the middle of October, beginning of November, she starts losing the other championships and leads up to the end of the year at World's End in December for her to lose the TBS title.
And one thing that I would absolutely love to see with that kind of falling off the rails, so to speak, when it comes down to her championships and all that, the AEW women's locker room, seeing all this happen in real time and be like, guys, there's cracks in the system here. We can actually do this as long as somebody here. We have this here. We have the people in order to do it. Honestly, we don't care who does it, but as long as somebody does it with the cracks that have been forming, we can get this TBS championship off of Mercedes, and then it's go time for whatever happens in the future for the TBS championship. I mean, you see these other women in the back, seeing all of this happen in real time, it can mean something.
See, I think the way I would realistically, book this, because I think that would be perfect. I mean, you have all these indie shows and whatnot during WrestleMania weekend. It would be perfect. I feel like for all these championships that she has, she just loses each one of them during the WrestleMania weekend, and then, like I said, just like what you guys had said, Then we get to December at World's End, and then it is her end for the last title that she has, which is the most important, and the TBS Championship. That's how I would have done it, because I think that would have been perfect. Because like I said, you have all those indie shows that weekend, like 3-4 weeks in a row, I think, leading up to Mania and then even after Mania, I believe. So that I think would be like when you really start to see her kind of go on this like losing streak or whatnot have you. But
that would be a big gap though, like for her to go through WrestleMania weekend and then lead up all the way to World's End in December like that. And it's not a bad idea, because she can go on like a couple months of just this downward spiral, which would be they would have to figure out a way to really build the story for her to have this downward spiral, and it would be a great build-up. It would be. But part of me is sitting here thinking, like, I personally as a fan wouldn't have a problem with it, but you would just hear people complaining about the gap of months, April all the way up to December. That's like 8 months.
You have her lose all these championships just so that she can hold that one all the way to December.
She has 8 titles, 1 title a month.
Oh, I get that. I understand where you're coming from with that, but like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like you go through that whole entire gap period. That's the.
Well, I mean, like I said, in between the gap, I mean, she's still defending the TBS championship, but she keeps retaining it, because in that process, you could be building up the actual legitimate threat of who's going to beat her for that championship. That's what I'm saying. And like I said, the TBS championship, and that's what I'm saying. Like, TBS title is the most important championship she has. So it's that gap is that long-term storytelling.
So
it's a long, downward spiral.
So how does this sound? If she goes into 2026 with all these championships, we get to WrestleMania weekend, and she ends up losing all the championships she has on the indie scene. Okay. From that point, the only belt she has is the TBS title. And in every defense, she finds some way in desperation to hold on to the championship. She never gets caught by the referee. Okay. But the superstars that she faces ends up going and saying, look, this is how she beat me. We get to World's End, and some type of match stipulation gets made to where her desperation can't get her out of losing that title. And then finally she gets beat for it.
See, that's what I mean. Like you can, there's so many different, I think, storyline paths,
scenarios,
scenarios paths, however you want to call it, that you can fill that gap.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I guess I left out for you guys to understand what I'm saying. Is I'm just saying, for all these championships that she has outside of the TBS championship, I feel like it would be perfect to have her lose those one by one WrestleMania weekend. But like I said, in between that gap for the TBS championship, she's still defending the TBS championship. She's still retaining it till we get to World's End. But like I said, you could have that. You can even transform her gimmick into just being like paranoid, like she's desperate, like she's losing it, like she doesn't have it anymore. She's not this confident, cocky Mercedes Moné. Like, she's afraid of losing the TBS championship because it's the one title she has left. Her empire is crumbling. That's what I say. That is the glory in that long-term storytelling is how I'm seeing it. So
she does like a Happy Corbin storyline to where she like loses everything, and then she like builds up to Double or Nothing in 2027 and wins the women's world title.
Hey,
and she becomes Happy Mercedes.
I still think you can do this whole desperation losing the 1x1 championships throughout the time until World's End this year. I still believe you can do that. I just can't take another year with the championship run by Mercedes Moné, man. I can't. But the thing is, like, I understand where you're coming from with the WrestleMania weekend type deal and the build up all the course of the months to get to World's End 2026, but man, that's another year.
Yeah, that's
another
fair.
year and a half, bro. I can't do that.
That's fair.
So
I completely understand that.
So I just do it for 2026. But yes, Mercedes Moné is 100% retaining this title here.
Yeah,
I didn't even get my reaction there yet. But she's retaining
all across the board. I think we all agree here. That's pretty much obvious. The next match is a coffin match for some reason. Darby Allin versus John Moxley. I think
He's trying to kill Moxley.
I don't know really. It's obvious. I think they're trying to take the Death Riders in a new direction. So I kind of feel like Mox is winning this. I think with the help, obviously, with the Death Riders. I think it's just going to be a complete gang mugging on Darby Allin, and I think that's how John Moxley wins this match. And they start building up steam again for the Death Riders, going in this new direction with new members coming in and things like that. So, yeah, I think this is going to be something new that they're starting up potentially. Again, Darby will be fine. I don't think Darby loses any momentum or anything like that. Nothing is up for grabs. I don't think this is over either. I think after they have this coffin match, I still think they'll be feuding. We could see this match again before the year's over. So we'll definitely have to see. But I'm going John Moxley. Phil.
The cracks are forming, and something is happening here in this coffin match to make me believe that John Moxley is losing to Darby Allin here. I just have a feeling that you guys both didn't watch Dynamite last night, right?
No.
Okay. There's an interview segment between Bryan Danielson and Darby Allin, and Bryan Danielson did an amazing interview with him talking about this match and talking about what is it really going to take in order for Darby to get in the right mindset to go through this coffin match unscathed and beat the inevitable of John Moxley. Then he whispered something into Darby's ear, which got everybody talking. Is like, what the heck is happening here? Why? What is Bryan talking about? Like, why is he whispering into Darby's ear? Something's happening in this match that's going to be monumental for the Death Rider storyline and how that goes about. This is going to be the first step of it, and I have a feeling Darby's winning this match. Bryan Danielson's going to be on commentary for the majority of that, at least the night. So something is happening here. I don't think Bryan's getting involved because he promised that he wasn't going to get involved in that segment. But something pivotal is happening here. I'm picking Darby to win the match.
Danielson joins the Death Riders. I don't know. I'm spitballing here.
Please no. No.
So we sat here about 20 minutes ago and talked about the possibility of Daniel Garcia becoming the new leader of the Death Riders. This is a pro wrestling 101 storyline when it comes to new leadership in a group. Darby Allin ends up defeating John Moxley. Moxley goes away for about 3 weeks, a month. The guys from the Death Riders are kind of, where's Mox been? We haven't heard from him, all this stuff. Mox comes back and he's with the group talking to him. We get a couple weeks of TV, whatever, but behind his back, the group is kind of in question, right? We get to the pay-per-view in November, the pay-per-view in December, and that's when the Death Riders turn on Mox. Right there. Mox is out. New leader, Garcia, Claudio, whoever. New leader right there. And I don't think Bryan Danielson has a fucking thing to do with it. I don't. I think they're going to leave it up to the people that the guys that are already in the group, and just Moxley gets replaced or kicked out.
I just have a feeling something's happening big with that whisper. That's all I'm saying.
Could be. Could mean nothing. We already
know. Could mean nothing. If it means nothing, then they should have never done it in the first place. So
this company picks up things and then drops them the next minute. So
I know. But this
you're hopeful.
The Death Rider storyline meant nothing for the majority of its time anyway. So
pretty much.
This fucking company.
What?
All right, next.
We'll see. Next we have
that's what irks me about this whole thing.
We have a tables and thumbtacks match. I've never even heard of that. With Mark Briscoe taking on. Oh wow! I didn't even. Wow. Okay.
That's what they called it to shorten it.
Interesting. Tables and thumbtacks match, aka TNT match, with Mark Briscoe taking on MJF. I think MJF wins this. I think it's a no-brainer here. Again, MJF still has his contract, I do believe, for the world championship. So we're gonna see that again eventually. He has too much momentum right now. He's building up a lot of momentum, and I don't even just mean within the company. Like even in interviews when he has to talk about AEW and what they're doing right now on television and things like that. He's the guy. He's the guy. He's like the flag bearer, I feel like, for AEW. Like he's just doing great things right now, MJF. So, and I'm expecting him to close out 2025 in a very big way. Whether that means the world championship or what have you, there's big things coming his way. I do believe. So I'm taking MJF. It just doesn't make any sense. Mark Briscoe again, he'll be fine. He'll bounce back. I mean, this is his kind of match. He loves these kind of matches. These super gory, violent, ultra violent matches. He'll be fine. I think it'll still put him over in a way that, okay, he can actually go with some of our top stars and even our ace in MJF. So I think more main event opportunities should be coming in Mark Briscoe's direction. But I'm taking MJF. Mike.
See, and I agree with you. More main event situations should be coming for Mark Briscoe, but sadly enough, I don't feel like they're going to. This is Mark Briscoe's main event opportunity. And if this is his spotlighted time, MJF loses his match. MJF doesn't lose anything. Doesn't lose momentum. Doesn't lose spotlight. Doesn't lose anything. This is a purely good opportunity for Mark Briscoe to win this match. And you could shock the shit out of some people. Because everybody's picking MJF in this match. I'm going Mark Briscoe. I'm going to be the 1% that doesn't pick MJF. And I'm going Mark Briscoe on this one.
Phil?
It might shock you, but I'm part of that 1% as well. I don't see a reason as to why they should not have Mark Briscoe win this thing here. They had this whole entire thing set up to where Mark Briscoe was used as a pawn by MJF in order to get Hangman what he wanted, or, just to follow the three, rules that he set for the match that they had prior for the world title, until the whole cash-in thing happened, or didn't happen realistically. They had this whole entire thing for Mark Briscoe. Let him get his comeuppance. Let him get his win. He doesn't lose the contract if he loses this match. He doesn't lose anything, like Mike said, in any of this. MJF is fine. He'll still have the contract. He could still possibly win the world championship. He just has to make sure that he tells Tony Khan a week in advance. Which is still stupid, by the way. But yeah, I'm going Mark Briscoe. Yeah, he's got to get his win. He's got to get his win here over MJF.
We will definitely have to see. The next match is on another championship match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Fatal 4-Way. Timeless Tony Storm taking on Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and of course Tekla. I don't like this. I feel like they are just throwing anything out the wall and just seeing what sticks. For me, Timeless Tony Storm versus Jamie Hayter straight up 1-on-1 for the Women's World Championship sounds like money to me. I think that would be a fantastic match. That's what I wanted out of this, but instead we got this Fatal 4-Way. I'm taking Tony Storm. Again, she's still on a streak like none other in this women's division right now. When that comes to an end, I have no idea. Because, again, I said this, and I'll say it again, there's going to come a time when it's like, okay, where are we going? When does this end? Because, she can't realistically hold the championship forever. You gotta hand the torch off to somebody else and give them a run as well. So let's not get greedy here and turn this into some Roman Reigns type thing. So, but like I said, I'm taking Toni Storm. Like I said, she's just on a streak right now. There's realistically nobody. They've got so many. This roster is chock full with so much talent, but none of them right now I think are just as red hot or shining as bright right now with Toni Storm and what she's doing with this gimmick. Fans are still behind her. She's still uberly popular. So I don't see why she would drop a championship in some random fatal 4-way match. Phil.
Yeah, Tony's retaining. I love all these three women. I think what they've honestly done, especially with the segment that they had last night. I keep bringing up last night, but I feel like you you guys don't know. What
I mean, you're the only one that
happened, right?
watched
So,
it. So, I mean,
You're the only one
you
that
have that
watched
over
it.
us.
Yeah,
And I have no desire to go back and watch.
no,
a
it's
3-hour
fine. It's
Dynamite.
perfectly fine
So-
because honestly, the 3-hour show after that it was just not much. But the matches weren't much at all, realistically. But the segments, they actually kind of held weight. Love Jamie Hayter, love Chris Statlander, love Tekla. I think Tekla has one of the best presentations in all of AEW right now, and I truly mean that. Like, she's incredible in terms of presentation wise, but there's no one beating Tony Storm right now. And I felt like this was kind of the whole problem when they had this whole entire situation in the first place, with her winning the women's world title back. I feel like they had kind of had the perfect opportunity to do it not too long ago, and they didn't choose to do it then. So they're not going to choose to do it now, especially in a fatal 4-way. So yeah, and this is the first women's world championship match that Chris Statlander has had in over 4 years within this company. 2020 Revolution was the last time that Chris Statlander had a women's world title match. And you guys know how much of a Chris Statlander fan I am, so I think it's a crime. But I digress. Tony retains.
That's insane. I didn't realize that. But okay. Mike.
Yeah, I'm going Tony Storm on this. Tony Storm is the most successful, hottest superstar on this roster right now. She is must-watch TV, and I mean, she's the most successful champion in AEW right now. She is. Why would you take the championship off her at a random time out of in a random fatal 4-way match on a pay-per-view? It would make no sense. It would make zero sense. So Tony Storm's retaining here.
Fair enough. All in agreement here. What I would think would be the main event of All Out. Hangman Adam Page taking on Kyle Fletcher, who was also the reigning and defending TNT champion. This is just for the AEW World Championship. Both championships are not on the line, to be clear on that. There is a stipulation that was added onto this on top of the World Championship being up for grabs. If any member of the Don Callis family interfere, Fletcher will be disqualified and stripped of the AEW TNT Championship. So very interesting stipulation there. Don't know. I'm gonna say honestly gonna say Hangman retains here. I don't think we see a double champion in Kyle Fletcher, nor do I think we need it. I think that's overkill for Kyle Fletcher. They realistically just need to focus on the TNT championship and rebuilding the prestige for that championship, because I think it's in good hands. I realistically think it's in good hands with Kyle Fletcher, even though I'm in the middle, I guess, with Kyle Fletcher. Not the biggest fan of his, but I realize the caliber of talent that he is. Obviously, and in that ring, he just creates magic. So it's in the right hands. They just need to focus on that. They don't need to make him a double champion. I think that's just oversaturating his overall character and his presentation. It's not needed. So I'm taking Heyman Adam Page to retain the world championship. This could be the match of the night, honestly. I'm honestly excited. This is probably the one match that I'm actually really, really excited for, because I think the two of them are going to produce one of the matches of the year for 2025, I think, for AEW. Phil, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going Hangman Adam Page here, and it's not even close. The stipulation was added last night during the contract signing that they had, even though the match was made official 2 weeks ago. So it's weird in that sense. But, I mean, we're not going to see a double champion. This is, to me, and in my eyes, like, this is the biggest match that Kyle Fletcher
for sure.
has in his entire career. This is the moment where you gotta cash in, no pun intended, and literally make something known for yourself. Like, this is huge for Kyle Fletcher, not just because he's the TNT champion as well, but you're going up against Hangman Adam Page, who is literally one of the main characters in this entire company, not just because he's world champion. It's literally one of the biggest statements that AEW fans make. And like, Hangman Adam Page is the guy within this company that if you can go in there, have a great match with him, you're made. So this is a huge thing for Kyle Fletcher. Don Callis family interference. Could it still happen? It could. I mean, it's Don Callis family. There's like 15 members of this group. So, and heck, there could be more added to the group, which technically doesn't even get added until Wednesday. So who knows? But yeah, this is going to be an awesome match. This should 1000% be the main event. If it's not, I'll be very much shocked. But Hangman retains, and hopefully we can actually get a real good story next time. Because the fact that this story is all built of you got to do it on your own, it does not hit with me. Come on, we can do better. We can do better for both these guys, and honestly, we can get something going for Kyle Fletcher as well, with the TNT title involved.
Didn't Hangman say that MJF has to let Tony Khan know a week in advance whether he wants to cash in his contract or not?
Yes, that's a new rule.
But Hangman doesn't need to know. Only Tony Khan.
Yeah.
What if MJF already let Tony Khan know he's cashing in?
I would love that. I would love it.
What if?
I would love that, honestly. I realistically would.
Because let me ask this. Is it really believable for Kyle Fletcher
No.
to be getting a world title match?
No. Not
in
right
any
now.
in any circumstance? I don't care how the story is. Is it really believable?
Not right now, no.
I mean, I get it. You're trying to build Kyle Fletcher up to be this big star, but it has not been working in my eyes anyways. I don't know about anybody else's, but in my eyes has not been working. I don't see Kyle Fletcher as is he a star? Is he a very good wrestler? Yes, all that stuff. But is he world championship material in AEW right now? No. So is it believable? I think MJF let Tony Khan know he's cashing in. And I think MJF will cash in the world title. Hangman wins the initial match, but MJF cashes in and wins the world title.
They already got lazy with this bullshit, and I hate it.
But and I know in the comment it says, but that is not a week, so maybe on Dynamite after. Here's the thing is and I'm just gonna say this. It's pro wrestling, and we all know this as fans. They can change the rules whenever they want.
It's fair.
And not give a shit what we think as fans.
No.
So
next we have a 3-way match for the AEW Unified Championship. Kazuchika Okada taking on Konosuke Takeshita and Mascara Dorada. Now, again, this is another match that kind of pisses me off because, again, we're getting a random 3-way match for the Unified Championship. What I realistically would have just loved for it to be Okada and Takeshita straight up one-on-one for the Unified Championship. That's what I want, not with Dorada added. No, nothing against Dorada. Dorada's amazing. I think Dorada has done great things in the few matches that I have seen him in on Dynamite, but for him to be added to this match, it tells me that he's the random guy to be added because he's eating the pin.
Yep.
I don't think Takeshita eats the pin. I think Dorada is the one that gets hit with the Rainmaker. 1, 2, 3. I think Okada retains in this match, and then we will get to Okada versus Takeshita 1-on-1 for the AEW Unified Championship. Mike, can we get your thoughts on this?
I did want to say Takeshita wins, but you made a very valid point that this is going to lead to the way of a one-on-one match between Okada and Takeshita. So with that being said, I'm just going to go with Okada in this match because Takeshita is going to be the one to dethrone him in that singles match. So I'm with you.
Phil?
That's 1000% happening. That exact scenario is 100% happening. Even though all three of these men had to qualify for this championship match, and yes, the champion had to qualify for his own championship match. Again, like just ridiculous things that happen on this company. Okada retains. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Mascarada gets pinned.
Yeah. Okay, so we're all in agreement with that. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with you there. There's just a lot of runaround with just everything they do on this card. There's just
why would a champion have to qualify for his own championship? Okay, I'm sorry.
That's something you have to ask TK. I don't know what he's doing. No idea. Not a clue.
But yes, 100%. Kazuchika and Takeshita That's bad. I'm sorry. That's bad. Takeshita is the person to take this title off of him. It's
I
gotta
would love to
happen.
see it. I would love to see it for sure. Absolutely. I wouldn't mind that at all. The next match we have is Big Bill taking on a returning Eddie Kingston.
This pisses me off.
Yeah,
In
because
so
I
many
mean,
ways.
Eddie Kingston's been gone for how long now?
18 months.
And this is the best y'all got for him, Big Bill? Really?
You fucked up his return.
It's a good warm up. It's a good warm up match for a return. I mean, and you're giving him the chance to be on the pay. I mean, they could have totally just said, no, you're not going to be on a match on a pay per view. Like, you just came back. You really haven't earned your spot on the card. So they could have pulled that on him. Instead, they say, hey, Big Bill at All Out. There you go. Take it or leave it. I mean, if I was Eddie Kingston and I was coming back after 18 to 20 months from an injury, and they said you're either going to take on Big Bill on the pay-per-view or you can just sit in fucking catering all night, I'm taking the match. I'm taking the match.
issue with it is just, it's not All Out quality.
I get it.
He's been gone that long, and this is the best you have for him. You could have put this on Collision. You could have put this on Collision. You could have put this on Dynamite.
And I 100%
on
agree.
Collision.
Like, I expected him to come back, and you integrated him in something more important. I was honestly kind of hoping you put him in maybe a program with Moxley. Honestly, given the history there with them two, you don't have to do a lot of explaining. It's not going to be, you don't have to put on award-winning writing for that. Like, the story kind of tells itself with those two. But put them in a program. Eddie Kingston now going up against the Moxley and the Death Riders, I think would have been decent, passable at best, but it would have been a lot better than whatever this is. I'm taking Eddie Kingston. I don't think they have him lose his first big match on a pay-per-view back. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm taking Eddie Kingston to beat Big Bill in this match. Phil, your thoughts?
Yeah, Eddie Kingston's winning this. No disrespect to Big Bill, but I mean, it's Eddie Kingston's first match back. Like, I highly doubt that he loses this. I think they fucked up his return. I realistically do. And it goes against, honestly, everything in my fiber to realistically think that this company would even try to do some sort of like surprise return to make it actually worthwhile. But that was never going to happen. Hey, here's the thing. Jamie Hayter returned on the pre-show. Eddie Kingston, he's at least on the main card.
You had to remind me of that. That was awful.
He wins. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. I mean, you fucked up one with Jamie Hayter with the return there. You're gonna fuck this one up here. They messed this up real bad for me.
What they could have done. Okay, so your argument is valid with the whole getting involved with Mox thing, and the reason for that is because he can get involved with Mox, but hey, Mox is working that night. He's going to be in a match with Darby Allin. He's busy, yada yada yada. But there's one person that Eddie Kingston can fight if he wants to, and that'd be one Gabe Kidd. We've seen Gabe Kidd on TV plenty of times already in AEW. Gabe Kidd is the reason why Eddie Kingston was out with his injury, because back on May 11th in New Japan Pro Wrestling, in a match against Gabe Kidd, Eddie Kingston was suplexed through a table, and his leg hit the barricade, and that's what caused his injury.
Yeah. Nasty injury.
Valid. Fits. Him and Gabe Kidd, one-on-one at All Out.
Yeah, that would have been better. I mean,
would have been much better.
The most I've seen from this storytelling or lack thereof is, I think Eddie accepted Big Bill's challenge, and he called him a big goof on Twitter. That was it. That was it.
We have seen nothing from Eddie Kingston's side on AEW programming. It's just been on social media.
Like they're not even trying. Like my 9-year-old niece could write something better.
Big Bill is actually carrying the load of this feud right now, and the thing is, like I said, it's no disrespect to Big Bill, but
he's not
does not
doing
interest
anything.
me.
No, not at all.
Goof.
That's what he called me. He said, "Oh,
that's what he did."
I'm gonna smack you up, you big goof," or whatever he said. That was it. That was it. That's
what
that's
he did.
their entire
That's the
length of their
extent
feud.
of the Eddie Kingston part of this build, and that's why I just don't care. Like
Not doing it for
you
me.
screwed this up royally.
You big goof.
Like, and the thing is, Kim, here's the thing. I still think that an Eddie Kingston, John Moxley, like Death Rider type deal, of like him coming back and all that, he can still be a part of like that babyface
Yeah.
group to finally take them all down. He can be.
I would
Because
love that.
obviously the whole stuff with John Moxley and Eddie Kingston and their history and past and all that. But, I mean, you got to get past Big Bill first, and I don't think that's going to be an issue. So, yeah, there you go. Perfect. You big goof. Stupid.
It wasn't funny
Stupid.
when you said it. It was a lot funnier coming out of Eddie Kingston's mouth.
I don't care. This means nothing.
He's messing
Him
with you.
calling him a big goof means nothing to me.
Oh
Ridiculous.
boy. Absolutely
Fucked
insane.
it up.
Bazinga.
What are you, Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory now? Wow.
Not crazy. My mother had me tested.
Oh my god. Is it Wednesday or is it Thursday? Because that's what it feels like. It feels like a Wednesday on a Thursday.
Oh, I
Oh,
kind of had to
tired.
make tonight feel like a Wednesday, you know.
No, I appreciate that because, like I said, this talking about this company half the time, I feel like I'm going insane. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming to the show. You know, you wear three hats on the show. You are the co-host, or the producer, and you are the comedian. So I appreciate you for that. You know, I appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
I'm just a guy that crashes out most of the time when it comes down to AEW product, but it works. And that's my role here.
Oh, but gentlemen, one more match on this card. We've got a fatal 4-way ladder match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Bro Dito, the reigning and defending tag team champions, going against the Young Bucks and Jet Speed, and of course the Donakawas family, Haji Cero and Josh Alexander. I don't know. I don't know here. There's a part of me that wants to say the Young Bucks, and maybe we kind of get the ball rolling with getting this tag team division back on track. Now, with the Bucks, if the Bucks were to win this match, I'm saying, and become the tag team champions, I don't think it would be a long run. I think it would just kind of again reignite the tag team division, because like I said, at one point this tag team division was probably the best in all of professional wrestling. I don't know what happened, but it definitely has been derailed a while ago. So I kind of want to pick them. There's something in me that wants to pick them, but I honestly think Brodito retains the tag team titles. Again, the fans are behind them. They are the underdog babyface odd pairing that has really just caught fire in recent weeks. So they're a pairing that works. I can't stand their name, but that's besides the point. They're just a tag team that works, and they are kind of cool. Just their tag team tangent, I guess. But I'm taking a Brodito to retain the tag team titles. Mike.
I mean, I'll say this. You're not wrong, and this is solely me agreeing and disagreeing with you when I say this. You're not wrong, but you're also, I feel I feel, God damn it. You're not partially wrong, but you're also partially not, you're partially wrong, but you're partially right. Yes, that's what I want to say. I feel like you're partially wrong, but you're also partially right. Putting the tag team titles on the Young Bucks, would it be a good thing? Yes. But at the same time, no. Can't me and you talk about tag team wrestling almost on a weekly basis. Our most recent discussion has been about WWE with the Usos. And the one thing I've been saying is if they put the Usos back together full time overnight, it would reignite the tag team division in WWE. You don't even have to put the tag team titles on them to do so. It would just reignite the division because of the rivalries that they can have with teams that have been there even when they were together almost 2 years ago, and teams that just come in. The thing with AEW is they have a lot of tag teams that no matter who they put these belts on, it's not being utilized. The only thing that the tag team titles will be good for the Young Bucks is to get back everything that they've been missing, their music, their introduction, everything that they've been kind of wanting back ever since they lost the match to Swerve and Ospreay. Okay? They're basically trying to gain back respect. And what comes with a championship? Respect. Respect on their name, their entrance, everything. So they win the titles, it'd be a good thing. But at the same time, it wouldn't be good because whoever you put these titles on, it doesn't matter. This tag team division is in shambles right now. It's dead in the water. Brodito, on the other hand, yeah, in the fans' eyes, they are hot. They are. But you also got another babyface tag team in there in Jet Speed, who's also hot in the eyes of the fans.
True.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Young Bucks in this match to win because they have the most to gain out of any of these teams, and that is their respect on their name. And the whole not giving them the right entrance and all that stuff is just, it was dead after week 1. It was old after week 1. It was gone. So how do we get out of that? Well, you have them win the tag belts, get the respect on their name, and then you go from there and figure out what you're going to do next. So I'm going Young Bucks.
That's a fair point. Phil, your thoughts?
I'm going with the tag team that I think, to me, realistically, has the most to gain in all of this. And because I feel like they had a missed opportunity when they had a championship match in the beginning of well, not the beginning of the year, but at All In. I'm going Jet Speed. To me, they have the most to gain with this. This is the kind of tag team that you can get behind, even though Brodito is red hot right now with the tag team titles and with the popularity right now. Like Mike said, Jet Speed also has that popularity factor. And they have the kind of backing behind them to where if they win the tag team titles, you can truly get this tag team division back on track again, to me. And I'm going Jet Speed to win these championships. They had the missed opportunity when they had the match at All In with, I believe it was, I don't even remember who was in that match at All In, but I felt like Jet Speed should have won then, and I feel like Jet Speed should win now. So I'm going Jet Speed.
I genuinely want to ask you what you think Jet Speed would do different to reignite the tag team division that Brodito couldn't do. Like, what would they do different? Because Brodito got the tag belts and people thought they were going to reignite the tag team division. They haven't done jack shit. Yes, Jet Speed has the eyes of the fans just like Brodito does. It's the same thing. What do you think they're going to do different to reignite the tag team division?
To me, when it comes down to, it's honestly for me the longevity factor with these tag teams. You know, I never realistically believed that Brodito was going to be a long-term thing when they won the tag team titles. I felt like it was kind of just a spur of the moment type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
With Jet Speed, to me, they've had momentum behind them. When they got paired together at first, it seemed like kind of a weird thing, but you know, when they got things going and they gelled together quite well and they were getting their momentum behind them, it felt real. It felt authentic, and it felt like something that could really mean something for the tag team division long term. This, for Brodito and everything, though it was a great moment, though it was a feel-good moment when they won those tag team titles, it really didn't mean much in terms of the long-term side of things for me. But Jet Speed, they have that. And the thing is, yes, you can put the titles back on the Young Bucks, go back to All Reliable and make, you know, the Young Bucks be like that kind of tag team to get back on track with everything. But I felt like they had a huge missed opportunity when they won that $500,000. They go to Vegas and they lose it all. You literally had a whole thing with that too. But you can go back to All Reliable, but the brand new is what's best for this company right now, and I think Jet Speed is that.
If you put the tag team title, and I'm gonna challenge your argument, okay? Because you know I like to challenge you sometimes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be.
I'm behind this
We
tag team
know.
100%. So
I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm being serious. That I'm going to challenge you on this. Okay. Jet Speed winning the tag belts. Would it be good for the tag team division? It would be because of their popularity with the fans. Brodito has that. They have the same thing at that level. Maybe Jet Speed's a little more popular. Fans like them a little more, probably. But the Young Bucks would have more depth. The Young Bucks would
I
have
don't
more
disagree
depth.
with that.
Okay. They would have more depth because, number one, they're not only trying to gain back the respect to their name and gain back everything they've been trying to get back, but they're still going to be the asshole tag team that they've been. Just because they earn everything back doesn't mean they're going to become all lovey-dovey, hugging everybody and everything like that. No, they're going to be the assholes that they've been. They're going to be a heel tag team. They're going to have that depth. They're going to be able to take on the Broditos, the Jet Speeds. If Cope and Christian stay together and they become this big babyface tag team, they're going to be able to elevate the tag team division slightly more than Jet Speed would. Why? Because they are going to be that asshole tag team that takes on all the other babyface tags. And AEW has a shit ton of babyface tag teams, by the way. They have a lot.
What better first foil? What better first opponent for Jet Speed to go up, topple, and become a huge piece of this tag team division while they hold those tag team titles? The Young Bucks, I agree with you. They have
But then
that.
who's next?
They have that.
But then who's next?
Throw anybody out there. I don't
Okay.
care. You got a great tag team division.
But that's my argument. Is you just said that's a great first rivalry with the Young Bucks. But then who's next? Oh, throw anybody out there. The Young Bucks, Jet Speed, Band the Brodito, Cope and Christian.
Right.
They
now,
can take
for
on
me,
the Hurt Syndicate because the Hurt Syndicate is starting to become a babyface team.
they already are.
All the babyface tag teams in AEW can go against the Young Bucks as them being champions, opposed to Jet Speed being that babyface tag team trying to face another babyface loved tag team.
Right now, to me, the most important thing for the tag team division is not only getting seen, but being brought back to the prestige of it. And yes, the Young Bucks can do that. I am not disagreeing with you there. That is 1000% a reliable type of feeling. But the fresh face is what's needed right now. Unreliable to me is nothing right now. You got to go with the fresh new face. You got to go with the fresh new feeling. And Jet Speed is that to me. And nothing against Brodito, but they were never a long-term thing. Jet Speed can be that.
I'm waiting for your take. You said we don't want to hear your
Yeah.
take. I'm ready for it.
You're
I'm
ready?
waiting. I'm waiting for it.
You ready? You ready for
Oh,
Scouts
okay.
to yell at me? You
No.
ready for Scouts to yell at me for this one? Okay.
Yes.
Check this out.
Yes. I'm muting myself on this one.
Yep.
The one. Okay. The one tag team that hasn't been brought up in this conversation, I'm assuming they're still with the company, and that's Private Party. Private Party was pretty much forgotten about and discarded after they were just destroyed and demolished by the Hurt Syndicate. What if you have, I don't care if you have Brodito retain the titles. I don't care if you have the Young Bucks win the championships. I don't care if you have Jet Speed win the championships. I don't even care if you have Don Callis, which I think that's the worst decision in this. I don't care if you have them win the tag team titles. But let's just say, I guess for all intents and purposes, you have either Jet Speed, Brodito, or the Young Bucks win the tag team titles, right? Or no, forget the Young Bucks, Jet Speed or Brodito, right? The baby faces in this blunder, this fatal 4-way, right? But then you have you have private, almost at the Hurt Syndicate. You have Private Party come back. Have we ever seen them work as heels? I don't think we have. Have we?
Slightly, I believe they slightly worked as heels with Matt Hardy when Matt Hardy did the whole Money Matt thing. They were heels. Slightly. It wasn't big. You are looking at them as being a big-time heel tag team, not a jokester heel tag team. That's what you want to see out of Private Party and Cam. I'm all fucking for it.
And this would make so much sense. And again, like I said, this doesn't have to be this award-winning storytelling television for this. to be written up. It's just that easy. I just now thought of this.
Pro Wrestling 101.
You can make Private Party a heel tag team, bring them back on television, and the reason for them turning heel is because of how they were treated and forgotten about by the exact same company.
I'm sold. But again, that's just another great foil in order to make it happen. So I'm just going with Jet Speed. But yes, again, I'm sold on that. That's 1000% something I can get behind.
So yeah, and I think that's something that would, if you're going with the new, if you're going with the fresh, and you're getting away from what Phil referred to the Young Bucks as old reliable, that's something that I could get behind to reignite this tag team. You get behind you get behind makeshift teams like Brodito. You get behind young teams that they put together like Jet Speed. Jet Speed, I think, is the closest thing to what the Acclaimed was. Because remember, and I got this from Mike's knowledge. I didn't even know this until he told me this. They were singles wrestlers, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, until they put them together and said, y'all are better as a tag team. And that's how the Acclaimed was born. So Jet Speed to me is the closest thing to the Acclaimed in terms of that, because I don't think they were ever supposed to be Jet Speed, but it was a thing that just was like a light bulb moment. Like, hey,
lightning in a bottle happened.
Exactly. So if you put the reignition of the tag team division on the backs of just your newer tag teams and get away from going back to FTR and the Hurt Syndicate and tag teams that have already been there, I think that's the future.
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Like I've been saying, and Scal said this in the chat, the Acclaimed are going to be reforming soon, and that would be one of the smartest moves to do in AEW to help rebuild this tag team division, is bringing back some of the tag teams that helped build the AEW tag team division. Like I said during our State of AEW dress shows, which we haven't done one in a while, by the way. It's been a while since we did one. We don't have to plan that out. We
realistically kind of do one every single time we talk about
it kind of turns every Wednesday has kind of turned into that. So you're not wrong on that. I'll say this, and I've been saying this, is I think AEW needs to go back to where they started, go back to the beginning, bring back some of the old stuff they used to do to build stories, because back in the day, they used to rely on the ranking system. Okay? Don't go back to the ranking system. That's dead in the water. That's gone. That's dead. But you can build off the idea on how to build your storylines, but also try and bring back some of the stuff that you used to do. Like Moxley. I'm 110% behind you. I was a big fan of Moxley when he was on his singles run, had his old theme. He was the AEW World Champion, the second time ever World Champion. That was my favorite version of Moxley. It was before he had Wild Things as his theme. That was my favorite version of Moxley. Okay? Bring back some of the old stuff you were doing at the beginning before we got into 2021, 2022, and AEW started doing this. Bring back some of the old with some of your new stars, some of the ideas you were running with some of your new, and AEW might become a little more interesting on a weekly basis instead of doing these week by week. Let's just throw something towards the fucking wall and make sure and hope it sticks.
Every week, All-Star 6-man, All-Star 8-man, All-Star 10-man, All-Star 12-man tag team matches. We don't need that if you legitimately build this tag team division the right way. And if you're going back to the old classics of, like, let's say the tag team division with the Acclaimed coming back, or Private Party coming back as like a whole new fresh type deal. They did this whole thing last night on Dynamite, and again, I'm bringing it up because it was something pivotal. Luchasaurus, he left Kip Sabian high and dry. To me, they're bringing back a boy and his dinosaur.
You fucked with me on Twitter the other day because you posted something. I was like, hold on, what did I miss?
What?
Like, you posted a poster of an old match that happened back in like 2020 with Jack Perry. Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? What did I miss? When did this happen? Because last I checked, Luchasaurus was doing other things. Now he's back with Jack. What is going?
Yeah.
And then I was like, hold on, this is from like 2020. What the fuck is Phil doing?
They're bringing it back. They could realistically bring it back. I know it might be a little bit too like niche of like early AEW days with like Jack Perry and Luchasaurus, but I mean, it can still work. You can still make something happen with that. And the fact of the matter is, if you're going back to like what you knew back then, and going back to the classics and making something worthwhile out of this tag team division again, Jack Perry going back with Luchasaurus, it's not a bad idea. And I'm kind of just fed up with, the whole heel Jack Perry now. You can do something better with him. So a boy and his dinosaur could come back.
Hey, I'm all for it. Honestly, I think that's money, to be honest with you. So I don't know. We'll see. But gentlemen, that is all I got for you for AEW All Out. That is this Saturday afternoon before WWE WrestlePalooza, which I will be in attendance for. So that's in my backyard.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I will be in attendance for that. So I'm very excited for that. Very excited for. It's gonna be a long weekend. Honestly, it's gonna be a
Are
very,
you gonna
very long
have to
weekend,
give
so.
your arm, your leg, a kidney, maybe your car before you go into the event with that ticket price? Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. So we'll definitely have to see on that one.
So crazy.
So yeah. I'm gonna probably just be a torso when I come back here next Wednesday. So we'll see. But gentlemen, now it is time to plug yourself. Phil, where can we find you?
TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Philomet_. Go through basically all the social channels in order to figure out what I got going on. YouTube, I got videos coming out throughout the entire weekend for all the festivities of the week of the day to come, with All Out and WrestlePalooza happening on the same day. Yeah, the WrestlePalooza video comes out tomorrow, and then All Out. Sorry, again. All Out is probably gonna happen. That video is probably gonna come out on that day, so just stay tuned for that, because WWE and AEW had to do the shows on the same day. And now Phil has to scramble around trying to figure out what the heck, how he's going to schedule out his posts, because 2 shows happen on the same day. So just stay tuned. The social medias, that's where I do everything.
As it is a long weekend for professional wrestling, it is a long weekend for us as content creators. So stay tuned with the double upload from Phil this Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. A lot of great content coming out from him. But Mike, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram, X, TikTok, and Snapchat at MiddleMike714. Monday night on the table spot with Cam after Monday Night Raw, here on the Boom every Wednesday night with these 2 guys after Dynamite. Every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Huddle Hub Podcast with Cam, twitch.tv/the Huddle Hub Podcast, youtube.com/@the-Huddle-Hub-Pod, as we preview each week of the NFL and recap the college football week. And then on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's me and John on the Huddle Hub Podcast as we recap the week of the NFL and preview the week coming up for college football. So 2 shows of the Huddle Hub Podcast, Sunday at 11 a.m. and Tuesday at 7 p.m. And go check out everything. I posted 3 videos tonight on the YouTube and the TikTok. So go follow on TikTok as well at the Huddle Hub Pod.
Definitely keep up with everything Mike's got coming out. Great content coming out from him as well. As far as I go, of course, Mondays, you can catch me and, of course, Metalcore Mike right after Monday Night Raw, talking about some Monday Night Raw. Then, of course, right here next Wednesday and every single Wednesday night, talking about some AEW Dynamite. It will be the Fallout from All Out next Wednesday night. And then, of course, Sunday, just like he said, Sunday mornings, talking about some college football and, of course, previewing for the week of the NFL for week 3. And yeah, of course, my social media is all on the bottom of the screen there. So go check me out everywhere you see the social medias right there, as Mike is peeking over the bar there. But yeah, check out all my social medias that I got there and all that content that I got over there as well. Now, let me not mess this up. Thank you guys for coming out and checking out the stream tonight. And as I always say at the end of every stream, love, peace, and prosperity. And we are out.